Hello, this is Gary Prince from Prince Innovation. Congratulations on your purchase of the Prince Innovation Survival Stand. This great adapter is going to give new life to your candle lantern in all seasons, but is particularly valuable in survival situations, especially in the winter. And we'll show you how to get comfortable with its use so you can get out and start enjoying. So we've got a couple of things laid out here for us to just have a look at the parts of the system. First was the Prince Innovation Survival Stand adapter, and we'll show you how that can turn your candle lantern into a much more stable platform for all seasons and a lot of situations. We've got the candle lanterns, and it fits all of the standard UCO candle lanterns. We've got our pack flat reflector, which we're going to convert into a slightly different purpose. We've got a file, any kind of mill file or points file, anything. It doesn't have to be very much. Just we're going to take the edge off of these reflectors. They come with a bit of a sharp edge when they're stamped. And then we'll show you how to replace the candle in the lantern and stuff once the assembly is all together. So we're going to start with getting our reflector ready for its new purpose. We're going to turn this reflector that used to be used on top of the candle lantern to something that we can use on the bottom of the candle lantern as a new stand. These things are stamped out of metal, and as such they often have a bit of a sharp edge just around where they've been stamped out. Normally that's not a problem, but with this we're going to be rotating it a little bit, and sometimes if you get your fingers on there it'll just be sharp and might cut your finger a little bit. So we just want to take that edge off. It doesn't take a lot. Two ways of doing that. You can either use a file and just kind of go gently around the edge like that, and that's pretty much all it takes, just to go around the edge, and you can feel if there's any sharp edges, feel gently. Usually it's just one side that will have the sharp edge, so if you do one side, that's all you need. But if there's a little bit of a burr on the other side, just take that off as well. The other way of doing the same thing is, we'll just do it on the other piece here, is to use a piece of sandpaper. And same thing, if you can either just sand it like you would normally sand, or if you put your sandpaper down on a flat surface and then just roll the edge across that sandpaper. Just a couple of strokes will usually do it. You can also, of course, rub it crossways, which will take a little more material off, which really won't hurt anything. And again, just check gently to make sure that that edge is nice and smooth and there's nothing sharp on there that you're going to catch on. So now we'll show you how to use the Prince Innovation Survival Stand to build a new assembly that will add some stability to your candle lantern. So any of the candle lanterns, the standard size UCO candle lanterns fit. They're designed to pop up. They've got a globe that comes up and down so you can light your lantern. Pops up to protect it from blowing out. The problem with these is when you set them in the snow, the housing warms up slightly and it starts to melt the snow, and they gradually tip over and then obviously go out and lose their function. This assembly will help to preserve that. The other problem with these is when they're fully extended, they need to be fairly solid, and if you're sitting on a rock or something that's on a bit of an angle, they can be a little unstable. So if we put a broader base under them, that's going to help to keep it stable and more functional in a variety of situations. So to put our assembly together, we'll take our candle lantern and we'll take our survival stand adapter. This just friction fits onto the bottom, so very easy to put on. Just kind of set it into the middle, gentle push down. The crush tabs inside there securely fasten to the base, and it's ready to go. Now you can use the survival stand just as it is. You'll see it's got this grid pattern on the bottom, this cross pattern on the bottom, and some depth to it. It's also polycarbonate all the way around, so it won't warm up as the housing warms up. So if you set that and sit that into the snow, it sets a nice solid base and it won't go anywhere. and it protects it thermally from the heat of the housing so that it won't melt the snow. It's very stable that way. Or we can add some extra stability, which I'll show you in just a second. So once we've got our assembly together, then we can prepare the reflector for its new purpose. So I'm going to set this down. To assemble the reflector, you just follow the regular instructions. You put the rivets through the little slots, give it a little bit of a flex, put the rivets through the slots on the other side, and you're set. A nice reflector that, for its original purpose, is used to reflect light down when it's hanging in your tent, etc. But we're going to change it so now it can provide a base for us. So to do that, just move this one out of the way. There's some fins on the bottom of the adapter here, the survival stand adapter. Coinciding with that, there's a long ridge on the ring of the housing. And you'll notice there's two lateral smaller ridges on either side of that. So this marks where the fin connects into the housing, and this marks where the lock tabs will be. So as you put the fin into the slot on the reflector, it just slides in gently. Some gentle downward pressure and about an eighth of a turn rotation, and it locks into place. And then the lantern and the survival stand and the reflector are a new unit with a nice broad base. To take that out, since they do lock into place, you need to release it first. So you need to put some pressure right here on either side at the smaller ridge where that lock tab is. Gentle pressure down, and that'll release it. Move it to where the long ridge indicates the fin is, and that's aligned with the tab, and it just comes right out. You can go either direction. So if you slide it in, gentle pressure down, and rotate, in this case counterclockwise. To release is the same mechanism. Push on the housing a little bit there, and rotate the opposite direction back to that central mark, and undo it. And there you go. Easy as that. So once we've got this unit all assembled, we're ready to go. We can lift this up. We're ready to light the candle if we want to do that, and we'll just light it up here for you just to show you. Easiest is to slide that glass globe down out of your way so you can light it. I've heard of people trying to light it with that in place. That's really impractical. So we just light it up, get it going there, and we're set. We can pull the globe up, and we're ready. As soon as the wax starts melting there, the candle glows right up, and we're ready to go. You can see that the whole assembly is still very portable, same as it would be with just the lantern. You can hang this still in your tent or your shelter, or you can set it down and it's stable almost anywhere. So just one other detail, even though we've sanded off any rough edges on this, it's still a fairly narrow edge. So if you're playing with this thing and pushing on it on your grandmother's heirloom kitchen table, you might get a few scratches that'll get you in trouble. So either use just a rough surface of board outdoors, or put a newspaper underneath just so you don't cause any scratches to any surfaces that you want to protect. So now we'll like to show you just how to change a candle and other sort of maintenance duties that you have if you're connected with the survival stand. So if we have our candle lantern plugged into our survival stand, and we could have the pack flat reflector as a new base on there as well. Doesn't really matter for the point of instruction. I'll just show you this way. If you need to replace the candle, all you do is hold the base, give the housing a twist counterclockwise, remove the housing. Then you can give the candle holder a turn counterclockwise until it unlatches. and take that apart. And that's how you would normally change it. I don't have a candle in here, so things are a little loose. I just don't want them to fly all over. So we've got our spring and our compression plate there. If we want to put a new candle in, we can just grab a candle. We'll put a paraffin one in here, put it into place, put the compression plate underneath that, put the spring in, and then just to set that back into the base there. It'll find its own way into place as you turn it, and then turn clockwise to lock it into place, and you put the housing over top of that back into, and it'll slide right into place. Rotate it clockwise until it locks into place, and you're set. So there, we're set. We're all ready to go. You can pull it up, slide the globe down, light your candle, and you're set again. And that's how you change the candle. So this has been Gary Prince with Prince Innovation, looking at how to get set up with your new survival stand adapter and to get ready to be out in the field. Enjoy your time.